Hi, I'm Jordan Thomas and I'm a professional comic book writer. So the intention of these videos that I plan to release every Sunday are to run you through what I do in my day-to-day life as a comic book writer. Probably you imagine comic book writers spending most of their time writing comics, which would make sense. But in reality, there's a lot of other tasks that go into keeping your projects moving and your career hopefully on the upwards trend. So I've been a professional comic book writer for 2.5 years, making all of my income through writing comics. I started by doing a book on Kickstarter called Frank at Home on the Farm with Clark Bint, which went on to be picked up by Scout and released in comic shops and the direct market. From there, I did weird work on Kickstarter with Shaky Kane, which then went on to be picked up by Image Comics, as you can see here. And from that point on, I have been working exclusively with publishers directly to release comics. So the next piece of work was The Man from Maybe, also with Shaky Kane, released by Oni Press. Then I did Mugshots with my good friend Chris Matthews, which was released by Mad Cave Studios. And most recently, Skin Police with Daniel Gette, which is also released by Oni Press. I've also been lucky enough to work on Flash Gordon, and I have stories in several horror anthologies, including Xeno from Oni Press, the EC Epitaphs from the Abyss series that's currently being released, and Hello Darkness from Boom Studios. So what I wanted to help comic book writers, or prospective comic book writers, with is the extra things that go into a career in comics that maybe you don't think about. So a quick run through of what I did this week. Before Christmas, I had sent off some pitches to a new publisher, and after going through several different pitches which didn't do it for them, there was one that they have all zeroed in on that they like. But currently that pitch was just a one-page document, and they wanted to see it expanded so that they could get an idea of the fuller story and the world. So I've spent most of the week working on an issue-by-issue breakdown of that series, which I then sent off on Friday to my editor that I'm speaking to at this publisher. Also this week I received the Skin Police Volume 1 trade paperback dress, which is the front and back cover of the collected edition, just for sign off. The design team at Oni Press do an amazing job on that stuff. So yeah, there was no changes there, but they just wanted to get mine and Daniel's sign off on what they've done. Also on Wednesday, Skin Police issue 4, the final issue of Volume 1, came out in stores across the world. So I spent quite a bit of time on social media promoting that, sharing any comic stores that I saw it on the shelves of, things like that, just to try and boost the comic so that people knew that it was out there. Then also as part of that, we were announcing that Skin Police was going to be getting a Volume 2, so I also did a lot of social media posting around that to make sure that people knew that that wasn't going to be the end of the series, and that there will be another set of issues coming later in the year, which is very exciting. Really, really proud of that book. I also sent off a few pitches to another horror anthology where I'm looking to do a story with one of my artist friends. So we'll see what happens with those. And then I was also speaking to Mad Cave about being able to buy some extra copies of the Mugshots trade paperback, which is going to be released next month, so I can sell those at conventions. I normally do 3 or 4 conventions a year, and the single issues of Mugshots always sell out straight away, so I wanted to make sure I had a good set of the trade paperbacks to be able to sell those at conventions. And then on Saturday, I made a spreadsheet, as I've been feeling a little bit overwhelmed by the amount of different publishers I'm speaking to and the different projects and different pitches that I have out there. So I just made an Excel document that had all of the publishers along the top and all of the projects that I've got pitches for down the left side and just color coded that so that I can very quickly see, okay, this has been rejected here, it's being looked at here, I haven't sent it here. So I can keep track of that stuff a bit better, as I was starting to feel a little bit overwhelmed by that. And then probably the funnest thing of the week was that my buddy Chris Matthews, we're doing a new series for Amazon Comixology, and Chris finished all of the art for issue 2 this week. So he sent me all of that to look over, and I just checked it against the script, made sure that everything was telling the story as we wanted to. I had a couple of small pieces of feedback for him, but Chris always does an incredible job. So yeah, there weren't too many changes there, but getting to see the full issue art for a script that you wrote several months ago come in from an amazing artist is probably one of the best feelings that you get as a comic book writer, and makes all the other stress worth it, along with when you actually see your books in stores on shelves. Yeah, it's definitely a career that takes a lot of persistence and isn't always the easiest, but if you can make it work for you, then definitely there are a lot of pretty amazing moments as part of it. So hopefully this video has helped anyone who is interested in becoming a comic book writer, but beyond actually like writing comics, wasn't sure maybe what would go into that career. I'm going to try and release one of these every Sunday, just breaking down what I've done during the week. And if you've got any questions for me about being a comic book writer that you'd like to see answered, then drop those in the comments, and I'll try to get to one or two of those each week as well. Thanks for watching.